Hey there, and welcome to today's Explainer. So today, we're diving into something that, well, literally every single one of us deals with every single day. We're going to look at this really fascinating text that shows us exactly how to transform our daily, and let's be real, sometimes super messy routines into something absolutely incredible. It's like a giant puzzle where doing the little things right actually changes who you are from the inside out.
Let's think about your morning for a quick second. Have you ever wondered why you have to make your bed, or brush your teeth, or do those same exact chores every single day? I mean, it can kind of feel like an annoying little thing, right? You make the bed, and then boom, you just sleep in it again. You put your shoes away, only to put them right back on. It can seriously feel like this never-ending loop of boring tasks. But what if I told you that those everyday chores are actually the secret building blocks to a pretty awesome life?
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. God's perfect order. To really understand why these daily tasks matter, we've got to look at the big picture. And I mean the biggest picture possible, the connection between God himself and our daily routines. Our source text today drops this amazing quote. It says, "Our God is a God of order, and he desires that his children shall will to bring themselves into order and under his discipline." So what does this all mean? Well, basically, God loves order. He's really not a fan of chaos or, giant messes. Just look at the universe. The planets, the stars, the seasons, they all follow this perfectly orderly design. And since God is our Father, he wants us to reflect that same beautiful order in our own lives. Plus, the text reminds us that Jesus gives us all the grace we need to fix our weak spots and transform our characters. We don't have to do it all by ourselves. He actually gives us the strength to get organized.
Section 2. The power of habits. You see, bringing order into our lives doesn't just please God. It actually gives us some major, real-life power-ups. When we align our daily habits with God's design, amazing things start to happen to us, both physically and mentally. The text lists 4 massive benefits of forming habits of regularity and order. Let's translate these into some everyday wins, shall we? First up, better health. When you have a solid routine, like hitting the hay on time and eating right, your body literally feels stronger and way more energized. Second, better spirits. This basically means feeling happier. When your room isn't a total disaster zone, your brain just feels less stressed out. Third, better memory. Okay, this is a huge one for school. When you practice order, your brain gets sharper, making it so much easier to remember your spelling words or math facts. And fourth, better disposition. That just means having a great attitude and being the kind of person everyone loves hanging out with. And the crazy part? All of these power-ups come from just having good habits. Section 3. Your morning to-do list. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is the practical action plan it gives us for starting the day right. The text doesn't just say, hey, be better. It actually hands us an exact 4-step morning routine. Check this out. Step 1. Rise in the morning. Basically, get up. Step 2. Take into consideration the work you need to accomplish that day. Just pause for a second and think about what actually needs to happen. Step 3, and honestly, this is my favorite. If necessary, have a small book in which to jot down the things that need to be done. Literally make a physical checklist. And finally, step 4, set yourself a time limit in which to do your work. By writing things down and setting a timer, you're turning boring chores into a really fun, focused challenge. It becomes like a race against the clock to see just how efficient you can be. Section 4. Overcoming slow habits. Now, we all know there is a common trap waiting for us when it's time to work. It's the trap of getting distracted, complaining, or just moving incredibly slowly. We've all been there, right? Dragging our feet to put away the laundry. Well, our source uses a really big, funny-sounding vocabulary word to describe this trap. The word is dilatory. Say it with me, dilatory. It means slow or tending to delay. The text perfectly describes this as making much work out of very little. Have you ever had a chore that should only take like 5 minutes, maybe picking up your toys, but because you were sighing and playing with the toys and staring at the ceiling, it took you an entire hour? Yep, that is a dilatory habit. It just makes your chores take way longer than they ever need to. And this brilliantly illustrates the 2 paths we can take. On one side, we've got the bad habit, being fussy and lingering. That's the dilatory way. But on the other side is the good habit, exercising willpower to make your hands move deftly, which just means quickly and skillfully. The text tells us that if you use your willpower, you can absolutely overcome those slow, fussy habits. You are in control here. You can literally tell your hands to move fast and just get the job done. Section 5. Little chores, big character. Now we're getting to the absolute core of today's explainer. We need to connect the seemingly small, lowly duties of a 10-year-old's daily life to the grand, cosmic picture of character building. Because it's not just about having a clean room, is it? It's about who you are becoming. The text makes this incredibly powerful statement: little things bear strongly upon the great whole. People totally trick themselves into thinking that making their bed or taking out the trash is unimportant. But actually, scratch that. God does not regard anything as unimportant when it comes to your well-being. The text reminds us that God gave his only Son for our bodies as well as our souls. That means he cares deeply about how you treat your environment, your time, and your responsibilities. The whole shebang is connected. So the crucial point is this: doing everyday chores faithfully is exactly how you form a strong character. The source says that practical religion must be carried into the lowly duties of daily life. And in performing these duties, you are forming characters that will stand the test of the judgment. Now, I know that sounds like a super heavy, grown-up concept, but what it really boils down to is this: doing the right thing when no one is looking, even when it's something as simple as sweeping the floor, builds a soul that is strong, honest, and brave enough to stand firm in the absolute biggest tests of life.
Section 6. Heaven is cheering you on. When you're knocking out these little things, you might feel like nobody even notices, but listen to this closing quote from the text. It tells us that whatever your duties may be, do them nobly and faithfully, realizing that all heaven is beholding your work. Wow, just imagine that for a second. When you set your timer, exercise your willpower, and tackle that morning to-do list without a single complaint, literally all of heaven is watching you. Doing a small chore nobly is a really, really big deal to God and to the angels. You are practicing being an absolute champion of character right in your own home.
So, I'm going to leave you with this question to think about. What small chore will you conquer today to build your character? Grab your little notebook, write it down, set a timer, and go do it deftly and nobly. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see you next time. Keep building those amazing habits.